Hi, and a huge welcome to the Sovereign Free Life podcast. Me and Christopher are here with Murray Smith from Australia. He has a beautiful retreat center, the Sun Quan Cha Temple, yeah,
Yeah, pretty close.
where he and his wife receives lots of people like on and helping them on their spiritual journey, on their health journey. And you're also deeply into CrossFit. I know you're very engaged in like where you really have to think about your health and about all the
Mhm.
little steps, right, to really excel there. And we also share the same community within the online platform and the online entrepreneurship that we're in Project Legacy. And you
Mhm.
really just had huge success there. It's so beautiful to see like how your mindset is like you're so clear in what you're doing, you're so clear in the processes. Like I think that's such a gift to have when you move into this. So
Mhm.
yeah, love to hear your story and like just hear your background, how you got into this and what the
Mhm.
story has been like. So
I
yeah.
really like I really like the part that you touched on, like it feels or seems really clear. Um, yeah, that feels really nice. So thank you for the welcome and the acknowledgements. And I guess yeah, the current situation within Project Legacy, yeah, it's been really a little bit of a ride arriving into that place. And I guess my background, the last 7 years been in just traditional style of business, brick and mortar, community-based businesses. But
Mm, mm,
like before that, my life was also very, very different. And I come from, I guess, a very unsettled background, and it involved a lot of trials and errors and as a young man, just really not understanding my way and experiencing a lot of I guess drug addiction and alcoholism and the path that took me on. Eventually arriving in jail and spent several years there. But
mm,
it was
mm,
really through that process, I think, like the getting out of jail when I was 30 and just choosing and really wanting something better
mm,
and really knew deep within myself that that wasn't who I was and it's not how I wanted to live.
mm,
Um,
mm,
so I just went on this journey, like you touched on the scene of health and really understanding that and going on a journey of personal development of how to just heal myself was what I wanted to do. I just wanted
mm,
to get,
mm, mm.
and that took a few years really to really get to a point where I felt as though I was good enough for society.
Oh.
But the blessings that happened along the way was that by the time I got to that point, it really put me in a really unique position to start helping other people that were
Mm, mm,
maybe struggling or in that same position. And it was from there that I started really to dive into the spirituality stuff because I guess the typical therapy scene really wasn't suited for me. We
mm,
had some little chats before, and that was really the path I took to healing myself was more of the esoteric and spirituality path. And
mm, mm.
where I bumped into my lovely wife, and off the back of that, I guess we just right from the very beginning, we just got to work and started building community
Mm,
first. Really built a big community here in Newcastle on the east coast of Australia, and
mm, mm.
back at that community, we were able to then build a business.
Yeah.
And got a physical location, a brick and mortar location for that community, and it was the Open Mind Space, which we just sold at the end of last year. And
Uh-huh. Mm,
we lived and breathed that for 5 years and learnt a lot about business and the pain really what stands out. Like it was a beautiful, beautiful journey, and we learnt so much, and there was a lot of joy in it. But there was also the reality check of the overheads connected to that style of business, and
mm,
we
mm,
jumped in to, I guess, achieve that dream of freedom from
Yeah.
working a 9 to 5, and we fell into the trap of working 24/7.
We've been there, like we know.
It sounds like I'm listening to myself. Everything but
You needed me on.
everything but the jail is just
Yeah.
plain, you know.
Yeah, it's funny how, I mean, yeah, the attraction, we just find our people. And I find that now, especially like with the work that I'm doing with Enagic, I find the people that I'm attracting in, even through the ads that we use in Project Legacy, there's just this like common thread
Mhm.
that connects the people that we're attracting, even though, I've got nothing to do with it until they jump on a call. And the
Mm.
synchronicities that just line up is, yeah, it's truly remarkable.
Mm. Definitely. Like I'm experiencing that as well. It felt like I have one woman joining now, like with a quad, which is the biggest package, and she felt like me 6 years ago. Like it was such a similar story, like in the childcare in like world and just wanting out, like not having any hours. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's funny how it works when you kind of surrender and you kind of give up to
Mhm.
something else to
Right.
to
Yeah.
work for you, like how it works brilliantly. I don't know how it works, but it works.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you just start to see the synchronicities lining everything up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
definitely. And yeah, would you like to add on that, like your background or
No, I
perspective on
mean,
that?
touching on the working so many hours, I also had the dream. I became an entrepreneur when 3 years after I went out of school, so back in 2003, something. And then I just struggled, all the time, like working 9 to 5, changing time for money. And we really
Mhm.
did that until we really were burnt out.
Yeah, that was our line in the sand moment. Like
Yeah.
he had
Mhm.
transport business, like working endless hours, me, teacher, and we're just looking at each other like, is
Yeah.
this it? Like,
Yeah, because I
Mhm.
thought that, if I acquire more employees, more cars, that's more freedom, right? But
Yeah.
you
strangely,
expand
just
business.
like, I mean, the amount of money I earned per car, I remember just like now when we're into Enagic, it's just laughable. The amount of
Yeah,
energy you give to that kind of profit. And
Mm.
totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to put in the equation the time that you have to spend
Mhm.
actually, for the finance amount. Like
but at the same time,
so
I
few
think
people that do
it's
that.
valuable also to dig yourself into that line in the sand moment because otherwise
Absolutely.
you don't know what you don't want to do, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah, we really experienced that also, that point of burnout. We sort of built the Open Mind Space, which is a yoga and health wellness center, and we just hit both of those lockdown periods. Is like
okay.
in
Mm.
the building phase of our business, and um, also uh, got pregnant in that time, and also chose to build another business off the back of the business that was already running. So
Oh wow.
we,
Yeah.
yeah, head first into it and really felt the pressure, that like the burnout. That's where we ended up. And the
Mm.
same thing. I remember just turning around to my wife and I said, "This is it. Like enough's enough. Either we sell that business or just close the doors." And with not knowing what was coming next, but I just knew that we couldn't just keep doing that day in and day out. I know it sounds like dark and gloomy, like there was some beautiful, beautiful times, and as you touched on, there was the learnings of that, like getting to that point. It sort of creates a part of the personality that you sort of need um, as a business owner, even if it's online. It's like
Mm.
it sharpens a part of the personality where it creates that resiliency where you can just keep turning up.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's for sure. That's what you
mm,
learn, right? You can't do anything then turn up. Like if you've had your own business before and you're depending on it, like you
mhm,
have to show up, like
Because
no matter what, right?
I remember just when I was analyzing why I chose to be an entrepreneur. It's just I want to be my own boss and I want freedom, right? That's the what we want. It's not always about the money, but
Hmm.
that's what the Enagic is just gives in so much. It's the
Uh-huh.
you don't need all the infrastructure that you need in a normal business, right? And it's just
Yeah.
laughable that you can just
Yeah.
run it from a computer, right? And
Hmm.
but if you have a transport business, you need, I mean, it's just laughable, everything
Yeah.
that goes into
Yeah.
that.
Cars and employees and insurances and
Yeah, and we
yeah,
we got out before COVID and when the gas prices went to the roof,
Ah,
luckily.
yeah.
But
Mm,
Yeah.
people are going bankrupt from right to left here in Europe now, Sweden. Big companies going just down the drain. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mm,
We're
think
watching.
it's a good time now for us to reap and find the people who want out. So,
And a lot more people are wanting out. This is what I'm really finding just sharing this, like sharing my journey, even through my organic field, just
mm,
sharing like my journey with it. And people are just, the common thing I hear is, yeah, me too.
mm,
Like enough's enough. And because I am connected to a lot of people that have like small businesses,
mm,
and a lot of them are like that community based business as well. So you're really relying on people turning up.
mm,
And when that was removed for years, where people weren't allowed to turn up, and there was no support from
and you
anywhere,
see how fragile it is, right? I think in
you,
our
you
transport business, it went down like 2/3, like boom,
yeah,
like that.
you realize very quickly
Yeah.
that you are at the mercy of the people above. The people really running the country or what.
Mm,
You're not your own boss. You're at the mercy of so many other people, and
mm,
this is what I've found through like Project Legacy and the Enagic. The combination of these two things is it's extremely empowering,
mm,
uh,
mm.
and not just for people like us that understand business, right? Like we've been through it. And this business is in the scheme of running a business is quite simple.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like you
But
said, the
but
people.
let us know, like, how did you get in contact with it, and like, what was the story from the start? Like, what was your journey and
Yeah, so it
who you
was
are
actually
within
at
Agic?
the end of last year. We were in the process of the sale of the open mind space. And we just went to visit a friend of ours, and they just happened to have the K8 machine on the bench. And I really wanted nothing to do with another business just for the moment. I'd had enough just for a little while. But what I did want was the health benefits because immediately I saw, I guess there's a little story in there also. Like ever since my wife gave birth just over 4 years ago, she's had skin irritation, some thyroid dysfunction, and just seemed to end up with like a lot of scabs on the nostrils. And 48 hours after drinking the water, it just disappeared. It all went away.
okay.
Yeah. Mm.
And not making claims, but this is literally the only thing that changed. And
But did she have to
um,
shower as well then, or was it
yeah,
before?
yeah, the Anaspa
The
and the
shower, yeah.
KX,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I believe like the combination of the two really
Yeah.
created that impact. And so we came back home, and we're on rainwater here, and we got like a little benchtop filter that we thought like a $1,000 benchtop filter that we thought was adequate. And the water's falling from the sky, so it's got to be good for you. And within a day, it all came back. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I just got myself a machine, and it wasn't until a while later where the sale of the business had finalized, and I had a little bit more space, and I was just like, what am I going to do now? Right. This is like my personality type, a good amount of ADHD, and it was like, what am I going to do now? So I had a look at it, and there'd been people in my orbit that had an Enagic business already running, but it was through some other community, and it just didn't feel right the way it was being offered. There was like something missing. It just didn't when I heard the way that it was being offered to other people, or what I felt was missing was the support, like that, the
Mm,
business aspect of it.
Mm.
But then when I had a look at Project Legacy, it just made a lot of sense. There was a lot of like actual business mentoring and the teaching of like the skills of what it is to run a business, like
mm.
that very important piece of
Yeah, like the fluff is gone. Like that's what I felt with Project Legacy as well. It's like, oh my God, it's
it.
straight to the point. It values people's time and just
Mhm.
racetrack, like boom.
Yeah, totally. And it
Yeah.
just felt right. And I proposed it to my wife, and she was a bit standoffish. And I sort of just had a chat with her, and I said, "This is something I'm going to do. So uh, I'm going all in, and it'd be really cool to have your support." And she's like, "If you're in, you're in, and I'll support you all the way." And um, yeah, I think now she's quite thankful. He turns around sometimes because like I do all of this sort of stuff. Like I'm at the computer doing all the things and all of that, and she just watches the money land. And sometimes we'll just be driving along somewhere, and she'll just turn around and just go, "Thank you." I'll be like, "What happened?" She goes, "Oh, you just some money landed in the account." I'm like, "Ah, sweet."
Yeah, we had that like yesterday. It was like, where's this money coming from? I'm not really sure,
Uh-huh.
but it's like, yeah, great.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
should be better at our numbers, but it's just like, oh, such a blessing, just
Mhm.
having that. Yeah.
They
Totally.
also say money doesn't matter, it's just lying, right?
Oh, of course. This is the one thing that, like, I talk to people, like, because I'm like deeply in the spirituality world,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's this,
So egoistic. Like,
there's this actually this like thread of conversation or expectation that we actually shouldn't be making money. There's like, it's a really weird thing in the scene where it's like, if you're just out to make money, then you're not like you don't have a connection to spirituality.
Mm.
And I think it depends on what you do with it, right? Like, I
Mm.
think one of the actual pillars of health is financial health.
mm,
The world that we live in, it's the currency we trade. So, if people with good intentions had more money, then imagine the amount of people we could impact in a
mm,
positive way.
mm.
So, yeah, I think it's the relationship with it and what you're doing with it that really impacts people.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, I mean, we are building here, like an eco village, health center, those kind of things. You can do so
Hmm.
good with money. And like I've seen you do as well, like you can like do so many things and you can be actually free with money, like to actually go
Oh,
places and do
Mm.
stuff and help people. It's
yeah.
so true. But I think it's quite deeply rooted, this kind of being like some, monk sitting in the cave and like
Mm.
eating one piece of rice per day or whatever. Like,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Not wanting for anything.
no, I don't need anything at all. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so false. And I even have these conversations with Renee now. It's like, because we're seeing the potential in how this can really scale out. And it's like, well, what's the vision? When we really have that solid foundation and there's, that real consistency of money flowing in, it's like, what's the vision with that? And the same conversations is like, well, we just get to help people. The ticket pricing on some of our retreats, it's sometimes it's not that cheap, and it's maybe we get to a point where we're allowing people just to come for free. We get to offer that because we don't need so much, and
Yeah.
be good, like, give back.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that too. Like also with whatever, like all the things you've gone through and like faced and all the protocols we have for
Mm.
health,
Mm.
you know,
Hmm.
and just to, have people be, at least, we can offer it to everyone, but then to have some people that we just serve, that we just help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I'm sure you have it too. There's so many tools out there that can make these huge shifts for
Mhm.
people, in their health and in
Mm.
their
Mm.
mindset in so many areas. And I feel like it's all there. Like the solutions are all there, actually,
Yeah.
you know, just like the water, like what a big
So,
shift it is can be
Mm.
for people. And
mhm.
once you know these things, like why shouldn't we just spread it, to as many people as possible? I mean, that's what I feel.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Even the like the ripple effect that Enagic can create, right? We sometimes joke about like the magic in Enagic, but it's so true. It's like once you see the potential of what's possible here and you really apply yourself to, and the doors that it opens up for you it's truly amazing. And
Yeah, I'm also thinking about people ending up in prison. Like they want a lot of cash, they want more than life offers, People with I don't know, ADHD and don't comply to order, rules and stuff.
Authority.
And I'm like, present this to these people, like you want to make gangster money, legit.
right,
Here it is. Like,
right,
because I
right.
haven't seen anything else that can really be sustainable more than, I don't know, like crypto solutions, but they are not really sustainable in the long
Not
run.
reliable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fickle. It can just disappear at any moment.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Definitely. Mm. Mm.
uh,
But let us know more. What was your journey like then starting with Enagic and the journey through Project Legacy? And I know you had a network already built up, and then you also, run ads. Like what was the journey there? Like how many people do you think joined from your like organic network, and how much is Project Legacy a part of it?
Yeah, this is a really good question, and it's a question I get asked so many times by people in my world. Definitely for someone like me that has built a really strong following. It's not a big following, but it is strong, and I've gained a lot of trust within that community. So, when I threw a post up, I think it was only just a story. It wasn't even like a post, just a story on Instagram about something I was doing. And that day there was like, I don't know, a fair few people reaching out, just wanting to know more. So um, for me, that organic reach really kicked things off whilst I set up the Project Legacy stuff. Um, and for me, I guess I could share this part of my story too. So pretty much tech illiterate. I've always like paid OBMs and like online business managers and VAs to do all that back end stuff with our like platforms and systems and automations and all this sort of stuff. Like pay someone to do that. So this is actually the first time that I've done this stuff, and there was a lot of apprehension, in particular from my wife. Renee was like, "I hope you're not getting involved in this, and then you're just going to ask me to do it all." And so, so I really committed to just going through the process, and it was actually quite surprising of how easy the system is. What they've put together there, that plug and play system, how easy it is just to follow. So it really only took me, with everything else that was going on, like 2 weeks to have this, worldwide online business up and running, which is just insane. Like what we touched on before, like trying to build a business from the ground up, like
Exactly. So much work. Yeah.
years.
And we know that because we've been running Magic for 6 years, and we have built, like we've been in platforms and everything, but then we've also built our own, landing pages and email sequences and launches, blah, blah, like it's a lot of work also.
A lot of
Like, to
work,
run
yeah.
the business like
and it
that.
never works out.
It does. We've done great,
Not,
but
not in this.
you can't scale with it.
No.
That's the thing. Like
You
if
can't scale, that's the problem.
if you can find a business where you can scale in this way that we have
That's
now
right.
with Project Legacy, like tell me, because like I can't see anything where you
There's
can
nothing
scale
else.
in this like
No.
this much. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And even with what they're like starting to implement now, like the changes they're making consistently, it's like it's going to get to a point where it's just too simple. Like it's just
Yeah.
like literally all done for you. Just like it's like such a plug and play system. And
Yeah.
yeah, I was running ads right from the get go, and for me, like the ads started working well from the beginning, and
Mm.
it was like within the first 2 weeks, I would say, that I was getting booked calls, which
Yeah.
like
Mm.
is insane.
Mm.
And I think it was like the first month I had like two of my best leads come through that were like the potential sales.
Mm.
And what I've really noticed now, like just coming to the 7 month mark of running consistent ads, how finely tuned it is.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
with finding the right people. How do you mean with the finding
yeah.
tuned or?
So
That the
just,
ads are tuned, you mean that the ads?
yeah, like the Google Pixel or the
Yeah,
AI
yeah,
has
okay.
gotten really, really good. And I
Mm.
mean, I have multiple book calls every single week now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Amazing. And
just
quality
humming.
people, I guess, also.
Quality. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the other thing that's changed. In the beginning, it was there were a lot of like no-shows or me sort of sending an email saying maybe you're not the best fit for this for, whatever reasons. But that's few and far between now. So
Really?
it's
Wow. You
really,
think that's the pixel learning or like
yeah, I
the
think
AI
that's the way.
getting better?
Yeah, I think it's the way Project Legacy is now communicating with Google Ads.
Mm.
So it's transferring that information back. Like these are the people, like because you're registering this is a booked call and a show called. Now moving into sales, so it's learning like these are the people that he wants. So they start targeting those people. So
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
super
it's a
cool.
feedback loop, and I think this is like so amazing. When we started doing ads, I mean, it was so much about like the target audience, about how to like do the settings so you would find the right people. Like it's so amazing today to see because I've seen the same development, like even though we've just been doing this like full on for a couple of months now, but
Uh-huh.
it's constantly like refining and getting better and better at finding the right people. And it's not about like you like doing all the audiences, like it's working on its own.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. We were like just swimming with the kids the other day, like having family time, and we were like a couple of hours at this like fun park, with water and everything, and then I get out,
Mhm.
watched my phone, it's like three more booked calls.
Yeah. How is that? Oh, yeah, it's wild. I think there was a day where I was with my daughter at horse riding lessons, and I don't know, I can't remember the exact amount, but someone else in the team had made a sale at some point, and money had just landed in the account. I had no idea where it came from, and I was watching my 4-year-old ride a horse. And I'm just like, where, where else can you get that? Like, if you
Yeah.
tell people they just don't believe it. It's
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
like yeah, it's
Like
super
like
cool.
yesterday, like just something landed, like a half a month salary, just like landed, just so crazy. Like, and
Yeah,
it's so normal now. So we just like, oh, here's another one.
yeah, yeah. It's so
But
cool.
we have
And
no clue where it comes from.
Yeah, I actually couldn't figure it out. It was
if
probably like 6 day bonuses, but
Yeah,
or
yeah.
you can always jump in the back end and have a look, but sometimes you're
yeah,
just
the
like, well, oh,
bonuses don't show up there though. That's the thing. So
yeah,
I'm trying to
uh,
figure out, there's so many bonuses, you're close to that rank of 6A. It's like, for those that
yeah.
don't know, it's one of the leadership levels, but it opens up like you're going to enjoy it so much. Like so many bonuses that just drop there and that it just
Yeah.
like bonus. It's like, yeah, good.
Thank you.
And
And
that's like on top of the 8 point sales, like the sales that you get within your team.
right. Yeah.
Mm.
The
Mm.
beautiful thing about it actually is, and the thing that I like the most about what's happening at Project Legacy is I don't feel guilty about offering this to anyone.
Mm.
With some of the older systems that I'd seen that I saw other people working with, I saw the flaw of like, well, not everyone has a social media following. So
No, exactly. Yeah.
you're selling this business to someone that has, 200 followers on Instagram and they're mostly high friends from school and family, then what's like, I don't understand how they can leverage it because it's going to take them 2 to 5 years to build a personal brand and a following to be able to market it to, an audience. But I think through this, they've really like leveled that playing field. It's
Mm,
like you
mm,
don't need a following at all,
Yeah.
like at all.
no.
The world, whatever countries it is that you want to market to, is your following, is your audience. Super
And
cool.
that's such an important part because you want to be standing in integrity, right? You want to, like, I've been doing so much work, like trying to support my team, this and that, and
Mm,
doing it organically. And it's not everyone's thing to like show their face even, or write posts, or go live, or do launches. It's everyone is different, and some people love
mhm,
it, and some people are really successful with it.
mhm,
Some people it's not for them, and then to be able to offer a place where you don't have to show your face, where you
mhm.
just follow the process, anyone can do it, like really anyone can do it. And
Yeah.
I had one woman in my team, she just had her first call, and someone like jumped on, on that first call. She's been in this in 1 month, and
Yeah.
she's just
Wow.
getting started. She didn't
Yeah.
have to do X, Y, Z, this and that, and like
Mhm.
go out of her integrity. So,
Right.
so the duplication is so important in this business. I mean, people might not understand it until you actually look at it and see the
Mhm.
possibility, but there is the scaling. There is the like
Totally.
organic kind of supporting your team so that they support others. It's like this ripple effect
Hmm.
that is
Yeah,
so
totally.
beautiful to see. And now you can stand in integrity with it and like,
That's
yeah,
right.
you got everything here. Like,
And I sort of put it back onto them. I'm like, if you could just follow the simple process, like this will, it's just a matter of time.
mm,
And this is the bit that I like sort of laugh at a little bit. People jump in and they're like 1 month in and they expect to be like super wealthy. And I'm just like, come on, you're in the infancy, you're still in the building phase of it. But then they start to see it, like it starts to happen, and they're like, I understand now. I'm like, yeah, we're
mm,
building a business. We're here for like the long haul. So allow these first few stages to be the learning stages. You
mm,
know.
And
Yeah.
that's important. I think we're in this kind of quick fix culture. It's like, feed me
Mhm.
something and fix it. And I think as an entrepreneur, like you have that background, we too, then there's no quick fix. Like I have to take responsibility. I have to take the steps. It's up to me. No one will feed me. Like,
Yeah, that's
but that's,
exactly
I
it.
think, something that people will need to learn, like also jumping into this,
Mhm.
but still, I mean, the possibility to get the return on investment is such a short time frame, like compared to most businesses here.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
it's just like it feels like you want to say like get a perspective here, like
Yeah.
you know what it takes, with any other business
Uh-huh.
that is serious and like
Oh, and people who are understand business, they usually don't believe it can be this simple. Like,
Mhm.
mm,
so you have those people on that side that don't look at it because they know the grind. And then you have the people who come in who wants the quick fix, who doesn't appreciate the potential here. Like, and I just have a story. I when I was 20,
So true.
I had I had taken substances and stuff, substance abuse, and gotten
Mhm.
myself into depression and yeah, mentally bad state. Like I fucked myself up. And I knew that. Like I had to, I couldn't work for 3 months because I was so bedridden with anxiety and panics. So I went to this psychology. I was forced to get money from the state, and he just wanted to give me drugs.
Right.
And from that day, I understood. I took the pills and threw them away. Like I'm on my own,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And it took me 17 years to get myself straight again.
Hmm.
That's the long run. And people always told me on the road, like, why don't you take this? And you can take this pill and feel good. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never went the road. My
Hmm.
road to recovery was in a bench in the jungle looking for the solution, or a bed in. So some people have that or some people don't, like,
Right.
but you can't always explain the
Hmm.
motivation behind why you want to suffer for 17 years. No, I want the freedom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's like also the same in business. And
Mm,
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are no, easy ways, you know.
No.
But
mm,
I think Project Legacy can really be a, I don't know, a catalyst for, really.
mm. But it's
Hmm.
really like your driving force is so like you have this fire in you, and I think there are others like you and others like if
Hmm.
you have that fire, like nothing can stop you, and it can take you to a
Right.
bad place if you like lead it down a bad road, or it can take you to a really good place, if you direct it in a
Yeah.
good way. But like that fire, like I've really thought about that. Like some, like you say, some
Mm.
people have it, some
Mm,
don't. I don't know really why, but or
mm,
how. Maybe you can like
I think it's
that's good.
built like you just shared your experience, and I think through that it's like for me too. Like I now have my wife and my 4-year-old daughter. I'm like I can't risk it. Like I've got to turn up. Like, and the memory of how bad it used to be is the driving force.
Mm, mm,
At all costs, I'm never going back to that. And
yeah.
now,
no.
yeah, like it's the memory is just here. And um, now when I'm in like difficult situations now, I just laugh at it. I'm just like, this isn't hard. Like that was hard. This is
Yeah, 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 yeah.
this isn't hard. And then, right, compare it to like business and then the comparison of like building a business from the ground up or coming into something like Project Legacy. It's like, this is not difficult at all. Like, you want to build business from the ground up and invest like your heart and your soul and hundreds of thousands of dollars and not know if it's going to work. And, or you can come into something like this. And this is the other bit that really blows my mind is that your opt-in to start your own business is product purchase. You're literally buying a product that you get and then you have a business. That is insane. You will not
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is no risk. I mean, the worst thing
none.
that can happen is you have the best water technology in the world. Like,
100%. Yeah, this
And
is what I told.
also looking at the athletes, I drive motocross and I see a lot of athletes suffering, and maybe you can come into your process with that.
Mhm.
But I see the potential for them to become their own sponsor in a way, and
Oh, yeah.
like certainly in motocross, it's so expensive, and
Uh-huh.
there's such a
mm,
few percent in the world who can actually live on it. And like,
Mhm.
mm,
but and most of them don't even know water, like very few of them understand why we should drink good water. Like, so
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
this is like the tricky bit is like educating people on water.
yeah,
mm.
Like, you're testing the stuff that's coming out of your tap and it's guaranteed to kill you over a long period of time.
yeah.
And
Mm,
this stuff,
mm,
I also like a competitive athlete in CrossFit and just ranked for 40th in Australia in my age
Oh,
division. And
mm.
my body is feeling it at the moment, don't worry. But what I noticed is with this water and the other products that Enagic has to offer is the level of inflammation in my body connected to the training that I do has decreased a lot.
Mm,
So
mm.
previously I was like, uh, it seems like I was like a lot bigger than what I was, but it was a lot of inflammation. And
uh,
Okay.
yeah, since using
Mm,
the water, that inflammation is gone, and now it's like I look a little bit smaller because there's a lot less inflammation, but the actual physique, I actually look a lot leaner. It's like,
uh.
yeah, I feel like the water is actually healing the body a lot quicker. Yeah.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
So the recovery is better as well.
Right. Yeah, that's
Mm.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Mm.
we've heard from like the top motocross riders we've talked to. Like
Hmm.
before, they used to have like 1 day of recovery and like
Uh-huh.
hydration. Now they don't need that. They don't
Don't
need
need it.
to have like a rest day.
Yeah.
So like on fire, like they don't have that
Hmm.
pain in their body. Like it's
Yeah.
such an intense. I mean, CrossFit's really intense as well, right?
Mhm.
Just like
Yeah.
motocross, and yeah, then you need to stay hydrated and like the antioxidant thing, anti-inflammatory, like all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
Yeah. I'm blessed. I really feel like, and we touched on it before, like just the magic. Um, I really feel like all of this just found me at the perfect time. Like the wrapping up of one business, and then like, what am I going to do now? Then it
mm,
literally just fell in my lap, and I'm like, here we are. And it's just, I mean, it's a process of like, I feel like not just building business, and I noticed this for myself. I had to unlearn a lot of stuff
mm,
to learn this style of business, like what we touched on before, like the business entrepreneurial people that have like built traditional business, and it's like that grind. That's all they know. I sort of had to
mm,
like reteach myself that I now have space
mhm.
whilst building a very profitable business. And sometimes I feel guilty that I'm not doing enough, but I'm like, oh, what am I going to do?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk about like
And we had also,
you were free for 3 years doing
yeah,
nothing.
even when we made a year's salary in a month, I think, or something, I still had that, you need a stable income.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you don't
Yeah.
don't drop out of your work. And we had like this kind
Yeah.
of food war where,
When I was going to quit my job,
yeah,
and I
she
was
was
like,
going to quit her job,
as
and
a teacher.
that there was still food in the ceiling 3 years later. As a memory, from that.
And I was
Very
like,
good.
but honey, I'm making more in a month than I do in a year, as a
Yeah,
teacher.
but
I
it's
can't spend my time there
yeah,
any longer.
but it's I remember my father put me up on the wall when I was younger and said, "When you're older, you have to have a job." He screamed in my face, like
Mm,
Yeah.
his fear came out, like.
Totally.
So I
mm.
Yeah.
think for people, that's the process to, yeah,
But isn't it like I see it in a lot of men, like this identification with the grind, with the like, I am a hard worker, I'm like doing everything.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Isn't
Yep.
it? Like,
yes,
It's so funny that that's just a global thing. Like it's because it's the same here. It's just like how many hours can you do
yeah,
is
yeah,
like
like it's a
trophy.
good thing,
yeah.
Trophy.
right?
Yeah. And
And
it's
you
just
get
like,
respect for it, right? You get respect for
yeah,
it.
whilst the family unit just suffers. Like
Mm,
Yeah,
kids
mm,
growing up without their father, like
mm.
uh some daycare is raising your child whilst you're earning enough to pay him to do that. It's very backwards.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, but I really see this as the pathway, and it's I guess it's growing. It's becoming more common, and I think really, I believe ever since COVID, those lockdowns hit, people had that realization that like you need alternative revenue streams.
Yeah.
Just focusing on that traditional income stream of like being an employee is actually not that safe. Like you
mm.
need to start looking at something else that you have full control over.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
and I haven't found anything other than this where like it's yours
Mm,
as long as you don't step outside the guidelines that no one's coming to take it off you. No one's like turning up and telling you you can't trade or make sales or be on calls. There's like
mm,
you're good to go. And
mm, mm.
yeah, I see this as the future. I feel like it's only going to get bigger and bigger over the next few years.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, still just the beginning in that sense. Like,
I think also a lot of
mm,
people got into scams and stuff during, you know, like when the scammers took advantage of people big time.
Mm.
Mm,
So I
Hmm.
think a lot of them are recovering from the trauma,
Hmm.
losing a lot of money, being fooled and stuff. So,
Hmm.
but I think
Yeah,
people are coming around now and looking for something stable and yeah,
mm,
absolutely.
wanting something, understanding that you have to actually do something valuable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Take control, make it yours, build it.
Yeah.
mm. And what's your experience now, like where you're at now, and also what was your process? You said it was a process for you to like switch your mindset.
Hmm.
Like, what has that
Yeah.
been like for you? Like the
Yeah. I
ups and the
mean,
downs in the like the 7 months.
yeah, I've really had to like retrain my nervous system that I don't need to be working 12, 13, 14 hours a day.
Mm,
That's been the biggest thing. And really, maybe I've got a few hours work to do today. And then it's okay if I'm like out in the garden or hanging out with my daughter and my wife. Like, because my wife has definitely taken a step back since we sold the studio. That was like my plan. It was really to give her this year of space, and she's doing that now. She's like really just dropping in as a mother, and watching her do that's beautiful. That's like really lights me up. But yeah, that biggest thing was I think my nervous system was just in such a heightened state through running a business, in particular through those lockdowns, really being like pushed to the edge, and then just allowing myself to land within this space has been the process, and that
mm,
just took some time. Yeah,
mm,
just now I'm like I feel very confident in this space now. It's I've got a solid little team behind me, and they're all doing their things now, and um, I guess it's like a big exhale is
mm,
what I'm feeling at the moment is just like because there was some apprehension, I guess, like, is this going to work?
mm,
And having the realization like it is working, like I'm right on time, like I'm doing really well. And
mm,
yeah, it's like a big exhale. It's just like feels
mm.
really good at the moment. Yeah.
No, and that's what is possible for so many people, and I think the right people will come, just like we talked about before. There's some, like you said, it comes in the right time for the right people. There is some
Absolutely.
kind of magic with it,
So
when
true.
and also like doing these calls in Project Legacy, seeing the people that jump on and people that are just so ready. Like I had a
Mhm.
talk with a woman the other day, and like the third sentence, I'm like, I'm in, like full in, the best package, like no discussion, whatever it takes. Like it's not like you have to chase people down or convince people or find customers or
Oh,
I know that with I had a coaching business before as well. And then it's like you have to do everything, the marketing, the
yeah.
follow-ups, to this and that. Like here, just people come fully ready and like they want this. You don't need to
Right.
convince anyone. And that is
Yeah,
just an exhale, I feel, for me as well. It's just like they have to kind of qualify now, like to,
that's right.
well, is this someone I want in my team?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah,
They go through the process of watching some content, and then you get to read the questions. And you're like, do I want to get on a call with this person? Is this
yeah,
person like fit the
exactly. You have that
criteria?
luxury
Mm.
of like,
Yeah, so cool. I had the same experience just the other day where someone from Canada jumped on, and they were very clear as to where they wanted the call to go. They just had like a series of questions, and
mm.
so we didn't have to lead it. They were just like bang, bang, but just asked a series of questions. And like, okay, what's next? How do we get started? And I'm just like, cool, let's go.
So simple.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that the process, like you said, really does qualify them,
Mm,
so can disqualify them, which is super cool. Yeah.
definitely.
Mhm.
And then, like, starting to round this up and moving forward, but would love to hear where you see this leading, like the bigger vision moving forward. And you said
Mhm.
you also kind of had to recalibrate and, like, okay, what do I really want now? Because I feel also with like the time back, with the exhaling happening, this is
Mhm.
something that you kind of get back to, like, what is really important? Like, then you can
Yeah.
start to ask those questions. And I'd
Right.
love to hear that from you because I think people
Mhm.
need to hear the bigger visions, that people have
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah, it's the expansion of what we're doing here on the property. So the retreat center was that's my wife's vision. That was
Mm,
her 10-year vision that she had. And when I met her, she shared that vision with me, and I was like, I could see the potential of it and how I could assist. So I really committed to it. And we built the open mind space, and then I built the retreat center, and um, I sat it down the end of last year, and I'm like, you're 35 now and you have your dream. There's not many people in the world that achieve like that, their end vision in their mid 30s. So it's time to just kick back and really enjoy this, but
mm,
expanding that, making what we're doing here on the property, I guess similar, it sounds similar to what both of you are doing, just making it that hub of community and connection and expanding the community that we have here. Uh, but also like it's creating space for us to expand our family.
mhm,
Um, there was no
Mhm.
way in the world there was no way in the world I was going to bring another child in whilst we were working from 5 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And now we get the opportunity to, give my daughter a sibling. So for me, that's
Oh,
like,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, and in a really like connected place where mum and dad are present all the time. Like, sure,
Mm,
like there's calls happening in this, but I'm in the home, I'm with them, and like that vision. I just turned 42, and to have that as my current reality
mm,
and moving into the future of like expanding that, like I'm just here with my family all the time.
mm.
Is That's a dream. Most men really don't
Dream
get
of
that,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and they
Mm,
don't get it until 65, 70 years old, and their kids have gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
And the life force is gone, and
everything.
Mm,
Yeah.
it
And
mm,
you're
doesn't have
praying.
to be, but yeah.
Doesn't have to be, yeah. And they're praying for their kids to come and visit them because that's all they want. And so, yeah, that's my vision, to
Yeah.
really just take the time at the moment with, my wife, daughter, and begin to expand the family. So,
mm.
I mean, as a vision, I don't think it gets any better than that.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't get
because
better
I'm
than
as a
that.
man, I'm thinking we create a legacy that the kids can be taken care of financially. When I get up,
Uh,
I don't want to end up in a care home. I want to
no.
end up in my own farm.
Yeah.
They can take care of me,
Right.
change my diapers and everything. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. But totally, that's the vision. But like, I think that gets lost today because like the kids are so disconnected from because they're always working that
Yeah,
it creates that disconnect.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I just like, yeah, I could speak directly to that. So here on the property, we have like ourselves, like my daughter, I have my wife, we have her parents, and then we have my wife's grandmother. So there's four generations
Oh,
here on the property living here at the moment. So that vision, what you just spoke about, like
yeah.
one's like here taking care of each other, and
Mm, mm,
Project Legacy, and like the combination of Project Legacy and Enagic is going to make sure that's continued, for generations. Like
mm,
what's on offer is what you just said, like the financial stability for my kids, right? They get like once that legacy is achieved, then right, they're
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
taken care of as well.
That's also one thing when I say to people that you can get to legacy bonus. A lot of them doesn't even believe it. It's possible,
Yeah,
but that's a fact. And
that's the fact.
it's a worth just that thing alone is worth pursuing.
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah, totally. Even if it took 10 years to get it,
mm.
Yeah, yeah,
so worth it.
Exactly. I
yeah,
mean, most people work like a whole lifetime and they don't even get that. Like
Hmm.
it's a no-brainer actually. Like if you see the
Hmm.
stability, if you see the reliability here, in 10
Yeah,
years you can create your own pension. Like
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe Enagic was thinking that it might take 20 years to do this, but when the internet came and when the
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
software came and
onliners.
you know, people do it in 3 years or 2 years or
Right.
even
Yeah.
6 months. Somebody did it in 6 months.
Yeah, really?
Ooh.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Some big
Right.
networker in
Okay, yeah,
Germany.
then they
When
have a
we
big
was in
one.
Germany, the guy who came in, he had brought his whole
Oh,
community.
that's right.
6 months, he was dash free. So
That's insane.
that's
Oh my
insane.
God. That is not a promise. Like,
Not,
No, no,
not
but
the
just
normal.
that's someone with a huge network, I
yes,
guess.
yes.
Yeah, then of course you can.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, you kind of get touched just talking about it. Like that's what I feel. Like I
Mhm.
mean, we are actually close to that now, like the legacy
Yeah.
after these 6 years,
Congratulations.
and we have like been off and on and not been doing this like all the time. It's not
Yeah.
like we've been completely full on like all the time, and still just now so close. It could be the end of the year, that we're there,
Yes.
and
but I like what you were saying about
it's worth it
your
all.
nervous system changing because I've gone through that myself.
Uh-huh.
I really pushed mentally during all these 17 years, like pressure, pressure. And when this came into my life, I just went through such a healing process,
Yeah. Yeah.
like deep, like I could really focus on forgiving whatever I needed to forgive and myself. And because when you're pressured all the time, you don't take care of yourself. You take care of those faculties in your life, like.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's so many men out there just like they're just men that don't complain, but they are
Right.
not the full men they can be, like, right? So
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
because we are just supposed to sacrifice ourselves and
Yeah.
yeah, don't complain about it, right?
Mm.
So I'm happy for you also, so that you went through that.
I think it's a part of it. It's in particular once you get to like our age, it's come into something like this. It's a given that there's going to be a process of unwinding take
Mm.
Oh
place.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
you had to just take saunas and work out
Yeah, yeah.
for
I
a couple of years.
I train all the
Hey,
time. I take
that's all I
sauna.
do.
That's all I do.
Yeah. I just do this. I train, sauna, work in my garden. Just got like building a whole food forest out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, super
Do you
cool.
have
But
a sauna at home?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Of
yeah.
course you do.
Sauna and an ice bath,
Everyone
and
has
yeah,
saunas.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean that's life.
cool.
Like you don't, I feel more and more like I don't need much more. We have,
Mhm.
this beautiful farm, we have the kids, we have some chicken, we're growing some food. We have
Yeah,
sauna, we can jump in the small river here, like,
yeah, beautiful.
and then you get to help other people and shift their whole reality and their whole
Yeah,
lives. And I don't know, I'm very blessed. Like this word keep on ringing in my head, like this blessed, completely
bless.
blessed, you know.
Yeah, yeah. When I told my story to some people, it's this year I would be getting out of jail if I had to serve the full sentence.
Oh wow.
Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah. And now I have a wife for the past 6 years. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and
oh wow.
yeah. So when like I
Yeah.
look back,
May I ask how many years it was, or?
yeah. So this time that I was in, it was 2 years, but there was a recommended 13-year sentence.
Oh
Oh my
wow,
God.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the grace of God.
Mm.
uh, it didn't work out like that. Once I got out, there was a lot of work that I needed to do, like very strict conditions.
Mm.
But yeah, I was just so committed to never ever going back to any of that that it didn't matter. So
Mm. But
Mm.
isn't it sometimes like pain or not going back to pain is like a stronger driving force sometimes than,
yeah,
sometimes you can't see a beautiful future because you just know the pain. Like what? Not even possible. But the
Yeah.
like running from the pain, like that is
Uh-huh.
like you can see that. Like
Yeah. And then I got a taste of this life, like just had some separation from that life for a little while. And I just went, how good is this? Going right on with this. And yeah.
mm,
Yeah, I've just been like that word blessed, like I've really just been blessed, like with my health, even just my health, like coming out of all of that and
mm.
meeting such a beautiful woman. It's now my wife and gorgeous daughter. And it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
I
heard
see.
you talk about the alcohol and stuff, and I just remember
Yeah.
I'm so blessed. Not even I'm surprised I even didn't die from the alcohol. Like
Mhm.
and but the healing from that, the ibogaine and stuff I talked about, and
Uh-huh.
everything just stopped. Like it just changed me from the inside. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Clean.
still so amazed about nature and what it's possible. You know. So
Yeah. The
yeah.
teachers, right?
Yeah.
They'll come and fix you very quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
It
that's
can feel
another
like you're
conversation.
dying, but so
But the
cool.
solutions are out there, right? It's not always like 10-year therapy and the 12-step program. It's like
Yeah,
there are ways, you know.
Yeah,
you're always.
totally.
Crazy that it's not like commonly used, right? That it's yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much power.
Yeah,
Also
absolutely.
thinking about the sovereignty, like you went through with the programs and stuff, that it's not funny with that you lose your sovereignty, right? And
Hmm.
there's a lot of stuff that's like that. I meet people all the time who they are stuck in the system, working
Yeah.
medicines and doctors and stuff, but there are ways out of that. But you
Hmm.
really need to really have that kind of wanting to have that sovereignty, to have that freedom. But
Right.
it comes with the cost, and a lot of people don't understand
Hmm.
that
Mm,
Yeah.
drive for freedom.
mm,
And I think a lot of people who come into Enagic have that drive. Like they
mm,
are find that drive through line in the sand moments, and
mm.
Totally.
You see
Yeah,
that the cost here is just so small, like compared to anything else. And because it
absolutely.
amazes me sometimes when people like see it like this small rock and then make it a big mountain, like,
yeah,
oh, I
Mhm.
can't climb over it, but it's like it's a small, like, come on, of
Tiny.
course you can.
Yeah,
Like, what are you talking about?
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Nothing like compared to where we're going, you know?
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the system just makes, in particular, I think like just the standard 9 to 5 employment, they just make it comfortable
Yeah.
enough that you can just get by, that it doesn't like what we've experienced, that line in the sand, like that pressure
Mm.
that they never get to experience to cause the change. So they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
make it comfortable enough for them to get by each week.
Mm.
And they never get to feel the full velocity of that tension to want to change. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
some people I know, like they have the football teams and they have the beer on the weekends, and it's like, if you love that, it's okay. Like I could never settle with, I don't know. I don't judge it that like that, but
Uh-huh.
some people just they are satisfied, and it's fine too. Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm. Mm.
yeah,
But guys, I think we're about to wrap this up and amazing conversation, just so much inspiration and
I would
like
love to talk to you more sometimes about a little bit more deeper stuff, if you want to.
For sure. 100%.
another
Yeah.
Yeah,
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Well,
censored episode. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, we do some work up here, so I got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that in another conversation.
Yeah.
Mhm. For
No,
sure.
but beautiful to hear, and I think a lot of people need to hear this, like that there is, I think the first step is just like, I don't want this pain, and then seeing like just seeing the vision, seeing the possibility of something else, and
Totally.
And yeah, once you're there, like we're actually having a launch now called the Unemployable, and it's like an organic launch. I'm still doing
Yeah.
that, but you become unemployable after a while. It's like I would never go back. Like I couldn't, like you couldn't
Absolutely.
offer me enough to give
No.
up my time with my kids or be
Mhm.
like sitting by the river in my farm. And yeah,
Mhm.
and that's where we're all heading, right?
Yeah.
And even if it's not a reality yet, it's just the steps that some people dare to take that actually gets you there, right?
Totally. And it's worth looking at, right? What's it going to cost? A little bit of their
Definitely,
time.
definitely. It just costs you an hour or two, a couple of hours, and it can shift everything. So
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
and let's reach out. Like we're here, we want to help people as much as
Mhm.
possible, and just reach out to Mary, like to us, not
Mhm.
a stranger, because I like at least me, I'm so passionate about seeing these changes in people. Once you have your own cup full, that's
Yeah.
what you live for.
Yeah.
So huge thank you, Mary. Amazing conversation with you. Hope to see you in real life sometime. Would love to come and visit one day.
Very possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and looking forward to see what's reaching your 6A and then beyond. Like there's so much more to come. My God.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Thank you both for having me. This has been really cool.
Oh, thank you so much. And give your love to the family and see you next time.
Cool. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.